Well, welcome back to my shop again. I'm going to make a real quick short video here. Some people have been asking about my ring clamping table. It's very simple, so I'm just going to go through it real quick. When I glue up a ring, I clamp it down to keep it flat in the table. And people have seen me do this and they've asked about it. Of course, when I'm actually gluing one, I'll put wax paper on it, above and below it. So I made a little table here. It's very simple to do this. And what I've got is a piece of MDF. I used MDF because a friend of mine had a whole bunch of it, and he was in the Air Force. He got transferred to California, and he didn't want to carry it all across country, so he just gave it to me. I had a bunch of it for a while. I got a big thick piece I used to make the table out of. And what I did, of course, I put a hole right square in the center of it. I put a T-net in it, right in the bottom. Right there's the T-net. And I put some feet under it so that when I screw a bolt through it, it has room to clear on the bottom. Otherwise it'd sit on the table and rock back and forth. So I put some feet on it, just enough to give it room. And the feet are nothing special, they're just some cut pieces of MDF I glued on there. That's all it is. Then I took some more MDF and I cut squares, put a hole where it, slam in the middle to clamp them down. I used 3/8 bolts. Of course I went to Tractor Supply. Boy, I'm clumsy. And got bolts of different lengths, so when I get thicker pieces to glue, I'll have a bolt that'll fit. And get a thick piece, I can glue it down. I cut squares of different sizes for different size rings. That way when I put a ring on it, I can get to it and make sure the clamp string's right, and I can clamp it down easier. So I've got different size pieces cut for it, all the way up. Like I said, they're just MDF, but they could be plywood, I suppose would work. Don't have to be MDF. And like I said, it's a very simple device. These are 3/8 bolts I got. Got them from Tractor Supply where you can buy them by the pound, so I got a whole bunch of them just for a couple of dollars. Then I had to do a project for my wife. And I bought some of this stuff. It's called marker board. It was real cheap. Got it from the local Lowe's. And I had a bunch left over, so I covered the top of this with some of it. It helps keep it clean. And that's basically all there is to it. And I use it to clamp them down. It works real well. It's quick. It's easy. It's very simple. Now I made this when I had a smaller lathe. Then I bought a bigger lathe. And this one I made plenty big for the small lathe. It's 14.5 inches both ways. But when I got a bigger lathe, come to the problem, I'm once making some bigger rings that were bigger than 14 inches. So what I did, I cut some bigger pieces of MDF, put one over the top of it, line it up, get it lined up. Then another piece to clamp it down, which I don't make big rings that often, so it works pretty good. So that's basically all there is to this clamping table of mine. That's just about it. Like I said, it's a very simple device. Just a thick piece of MDF with a T-nut in the bottom and some feet on it. Then some pieces cut to go over the top. I put it in and I put them on and I screw them down with a wrench. That's it. That's the whole thing right there. And it works good. Keeps them flat when I clamp them. So, I hope that answers all the questions people have been asking me about the clamping table. And I appreciate you watching the video. And come back and see my next video. And I will leave my email address along the bottom if you have any questions. So, thank you for watching.